In many small American towns, strange security footage circulates online from time to time. Most of it ends with simple explanations. But a few recordings linger for a different reason. Not because they're confirmed, but because no one can confidently explain what's happening in them. Tonight, we're looking into 4 separate incidents. Each clip was reportedly shared by different users, none fully sure of what they captured. What connects them isn't the location or the people involved. It's the same strange detail each clip shares. Whether these clips show glitches, coincidences, or something else entirely, each one leaves behind a question that no one has answered. The first incident occurred on Willow Creek Road at a suburban house that had been unoccupied for nearly 6 months. Despite being vacant, a delivery app received a fully paid order from that exact address late one night. The account used for the order listed no name, no phone number, and no registered device, only the abandoned property. At 10:47 p.m., a driver arrived. His dashcam had been recording continuously since he turned onto the street. The porch was empty when he stepped out of the car. No lights inside, no movement, no signs of residents. As the driver walked toward the door, his app suddenly marked the order as delivered Devon, though he hadn't touched anything.
I didn't tap a thing. The screen just changed. I thought it froze, but then I looked back at the porch.
3 seconds had passed, and on the doormat, a takeout bag was already sitting there. The driver checked his dashcam later. It never looked away from the porch. No glitches, no blind spots, no person entering frame. County records confirmed the house had no residents, no utilities, and no recent visitors. A neighbor across the street later reported seeing similar activity weeks earlier.
Nobody lives there, but every few weeks, a delivery car stops. And there's always a bag on the porch afterward.
None of the previous delivery bags were ever found. Not inside the house, not in the trash, not anywhere nearby. The house's smart lock logs showed multiple accepted deliveries, but no registered device had ever unlocked the door. The investigation left one unanswered question. If the house was empty, who kept placing orders and accepting the deliveries? Our second case occurred at a small apartment complex on Pine Hollow Street, where a resident reported a delivery interaction that should not have been possible. According to building records, the unit involved had a malfunctioning door sensor. Maintenance staff locked it from the inside 2 days earlier. No one was living there. Despite this, a food delivery order was placed to that unit late at night, paid with a valid card, using a device ID that didn't match any resident. The driver's body cam recorded every step as he walked down the hallway. There was no movement, no other doors opening. As he reached the unit, something unexpected happened. The apartment door creaked open by a few inches, as if inviting him to leave the food inside.
I thought someone was inside. I stepped back and waited, but no one said anything. No footsteps. Nothing.
He placed the bag on the floor, took a photo for the app, and walked away. The door remained slightly open behind him. But when the building manager reviewed the hallway's CCTV, the door never opened, not once. The driver is shown placing the food on the ground, but on camera, the door behind him stays shut and unmoving. Building staff inspected the lock afterward. The deadbolt was still engaged from the inside, and dust patterns indicated the door hadn't moved in days. The resident living next door reported hearing the driver speak, but no replying voice from inside the locked unit.
I heard him say, "The delivery was here." After that, it was completely quiet. I never heard a door open.
The food inside the bag disappeared by morning. The container was gone. No one ever entered the unit. The lock remained engaged. The case raised a troubling question. If the door never opened, who accepted the delivery inside the locked apartment? Our third case came from a remote region outside Alder Falls, where no homes, cabins, or campsites existed for nearly 2 miles. Yet one night, a delivery app registered an order for a full meal, placed from a device ID that didn't match any known manufacturer. The GPS location pointed to a small clearing deep in the forest. No structures, no trails, no reason for anyone to be there. The driver assigned to the order activated his dashcam as he followed the coordinates into the woods. The farther he drove, the weaker his cell signal became. By the time he reached the clearing, the signal was gone completely. He stepped out of the vehicle. According to his report, the clearing was silent. No animals, no insects, no movement. As he approached the GPS marker, his delivery app suddenly refreshed, despite having no signal.
The app shouldn't have loaded. I had 0 signal. But it showed the customer was nearby.
He turned toward the tree line expecting someone to step out, but no one did. His dashcam, still recording from the car, captured a sudden flicker of movement near the coordinates. A brief distortion in the shape of a person, but not fully formed. When the driver walked back to his vehicle, he saw something that made him freeze. The takeout bag was already sitting on his hood. The bag had not been there minutes earlier, and the dashcam never showed anyone approaching the car. The driver attempted to call support, but his phone showed a blinking notification. Order received. Thank you.
That message wasn't from the app. It didn't look like anything I've seen before, and it kept blinking.
Seconds later, his dashcam caught a final distortion. Something tall, standing between the trees, watching him before the feed cut out entirely. The driver fled the clearing without picking up the bag. He later reported that for the first mile, something moved alongside the tree line, matching his speed in complete silence. The footage ended with his voice trembling. He swore no human should have been able to place the food on his car, or follow him through the woods without making a sound. Our final case took place in Ashwood Dormitory, an aging college residence known for its failing lights and unreliable wiring. At exactly 3:12 a.m., once a week, the building received a food delivery to room 313, a room that had been unoccupied for almost a year. Every order was paid in advance with the same digital wallet, one that hadn't been active since its owner graduated 8 years earlier. Security installed a hallway camera directly facing room 313 to monitor the unexplained deliveries. The first week the camera was active. Nothing happened until 3:12 a.m. when the hallway lights dimmed to half their brightness. At that moment, a takeout bag appeared in front of room 313 between 2 frames. No footsteps, no approach, no sound. The building's night guard reviewed the footage and later described what he saw in the corner of the frame.
There was a shape standing at the far end, not walking, just standing. It wasn't there before the cut.
Week after week, the same pattern occurred. Always at the exact same time. Always the same silent appearance of a meal no one ordered. On the 4th week, something else was captured. A faint reflection on a dorm window showed a tall figure standing behind the camera's viewpoint. A former resident of room 313 was contacted to verify the digital wallet linked to the orders.
I closed that account years ago. I never used it again. But the weekly time. Yeah, I know it. Someone used to knock on that door at 3:12 every night. No one was ever there.
On the 6th week, the bag didn't appear. Instead, the camera recorded the door handle of room 313, turning even though the lock had been sealed by maintenance. The hallway lights flickered rapidly, and for a single frame, a towering figure stood inches from the camera lens, facing directly toward it. For the first time in 6 weeks, the security guard refused to continue monitoring alone.
3:12. Every time. Always.
The last recorded event occurred when the guard walked the hallway in person at 3:12 a.m. He saw the door of room 313 slowly open a few inches. Despite the lock still sealed, he dropped his flashlight when a cold breath of air passed across the hall, followed by a whisper his body cam barely captured. The footage ended with the guard running, repeating one shaking sentence in the recording. Someone or something had been standing behind the door. across 4 locations, 4 different systems, and 4 unrelated accounts. The same pattern kept repeating. Orders placed from devices with no owners, payments approved by accounts long abandoned, deliveries accepted by empty rooms. Every camera involved showed the same anomaly, objects appearing without visible contact, movement, or human presence. And in every incident, someone was there only in the data. Not in the footage, not in the building, only in the system. Some analysts suggested software corruption. Others blamed overlapping records, recycled addresses, or timing dacing. But none of those explanations account for the same figure appearing. However, briefly, across different cameras, in different towns. Or the timestamps aligning to the minute. Or the deliveries marked as complete without human input. Whether these events were digital errors, parallel glitches, or something interacting with the system directly, remains unknown. But one detail tied all 4 incidents together. Every order was placed in the early hours, just minutes before the delivery arrived, as if something knew exactly when to be there. And every driver reported the same feeling. The sense that someone was still standing just outside the frame. For now, the origin of these orders, the identity behind them remains unresolved. The systems log them, the cameras miss them, and the buildings never confirm them. But if the patterns continue, someone else will receive a delivery they didn't order at a time they weren't awake, to a place they weren't expecting. And if that ever happens to you, check your cameras carefully. Something might be standing just outside their view.